This is the 2023 Toyota Supra, now finally sporting a manual transmission. And let's be honest, you already know all the specs, you've seen all the videos. 3-liter B58 inline-6, 382 horsepower, and of course, the all-new manual transmission. But you want the real juicy stuff, the nitty-gritty details. So we spoke with Gazoo Racing engineers and took the car out for a spin to find out the mechanical, engineering level details on this newly updated 5th generation Supra. Here's the scoop. The car is still the same J29 chassis, based on BMW Klar architecture and is manufactured in Magna-Steyr in Austria. The engine is still the B58 B3001, the high-output B58 found in the Supra since 2021. 382 horsepower and 368 pound-feet of torque. And of course, it's still underrated, with most cars making 380 horsepower to the wheels in automatic trim. But it's what's attached to that motor that everyone cares about this year. The 6-speed manual transmission, sourced from none other than ZF, the same supplier for the 8-speed Auto, and the same supplier that has faithfully made gearboxes for BMWs over the last decade. The exact gearbox is the ZF GS645BZ, the same box you'll find in M240i's as well as the M3 and M4. But it wasn't quite as simple as grabbing a gearbox off BMW's shelf. Toyota consulted with ZF directly to tailor a transmission package that was not only proven to mate up with the B58, but was also spec'd to Toyota's own requirements. The base of the gearbox is of course the same ZF box as you'll find in other BMWs, with the exact same gear ratios for all 6 forward gears and reverse as the M3 and M4. But Toyota and ZF have developed a new clutch kit for the Supra, one that is not only suited for the immense torque of the B58, but is also linear and easy to use. Beyond that, they've removed the sound deadening material found on all BMW ZF manuals in order to reduce the weight. And lastly, Toyota opted for a heavier shift knob, 200 grams to be precise, to make for more positive throws when going from gear to gear. And all that is sent through the same electronic limited slip differential as the previous years, but now with a 346 final drive instead of the 315 in the automatic. And yes, this is the same diff and ratios that you'll find in BMW M cars. Beyond the drivetrain, the traction control and stability control have been updated for the manual to allow for better traction in wet or icy conditions and to also keep you from spinning the car. It's no secret that the Supra is a car that likes to slide, and so the updated stability control will now intervene earlier if the car is overcorrecting from a slide, aka a tank slapper. That is also paired with a track mode that will allow for more slip angle than before without having to turn the nannies fully off. The limited slip diff logic has also been updated with something Toyota calls hairpin plus mode. Its purpose is a little bizarrely specific, but basically it changes the amount of diff lockup when the car detects it's going up a 5% or greater incline, all in an effort to keep the car more stable when you're putting down the power on those hilly back roads. Beyond that, small updates to the electric power steering and suspension tuning were made in concert with the other changes to make for an all-round better driving experience. Add to that all the aesthetic differences, 2 new colors for the A91 MT Special Edition, a new blue for the standard model, and of course that peanut butter leather interior, matched perfectly with a leather skin from channel sponsor D-Brand, or of course a carbon skin to match the Supra's updated carbon center console, or any other color or pattern. D-Brand has it all for all your devices. You can check it out at the link in the description. All things considered, Toyota's made a compelling package for 2023. But all these details are great and all on paper. The real question is, how does it drive? Well, better than the automatic in my opinion. If you're looking for engagement, a manual is always a step in the right direction. And as fantastic as the ZF 8-speed is, rowing your own gears is always the enthusiast's choice. The clutch is light and easy to modulate. Well-spaced gears and tons of torque means you can cruise along in whatever gear you like, and you've always got plenty of power on tap. But the Supra's manual is not without its flaws. The transmission itself is great, but the shifter is classic BMW. A rubbery, plasticky feeling shift action, one that does not like to be shifted quickly. The heavier shift knob does make for a satisfying level of effort when rowing back and forth. But if I had one of these, the first thing I would do would be to replace this shifter assembly with something much more mechanical. And then there's the fact that the cabin itself was clearly designed with the automatic in mind, with a clutch travel a little too long that forces you to sit a little closer than you'd want, which makes for an uncomfortable position for steering and, worst of all, for shifting. I found my elbow hitting the seat bolster for any 2nd or 4th gear shift, and somehow the Supra's already cramped cabin felt a little more claustrophobic with the added need to move all 4 appendages. But all that is nitpicking. The ZF 6-speed paired with the B58 and that 346 rear end makes for a great driving experience. My final verdict, this is the Supra to buy. And man, I wish it was around 3 years ago when I bought mine. Thanks for watching, I'll see you guys in the next one.